Hello and welcome back to Newsroom Nigeria. This is where we give you hot, fresh and sizzling news all day long. If this is your first time here, you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button down below. Also give this video a massive thumbs up, that way YouTube will be able to recommend this video to other YouTube viewers all around the world. Lastly, please leave your opinions in the comment section below. Reflecting on our journey in 1992 to 1993, an event leading to the annulment in 1993, I remember our mistakes as parliamentarians in the National Assembly, where we focused on leadership torso instead of holding our primary legislative work. Our failure to hold our responsibility distracted us from the happening that brewed on the executive side and which led to the sad events that still define our political history. I have closely followed developments in Rivers State in the past 2 days, and my initial silence was informed by the desire to let the authority and parties in the conflict do what is right. First, I am perturbed by the unilateral decision of President Bola Tinubu to suspend Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State, his deputy and all elected state legislators from office. The legislative has the responsibility to hold the executive responsible and not always play to its tune. It is therefore appalling to see this 10th Assembly become more rubber stamp than any of its predecessors. More disturbing is the unilateral decision by both chambers of the National Assembly to ratify the President's proclamation. I have hoped that the legislators would not add salt to injury by passing this illegality. The Constitution is clear on the method of voting on issues of such importance, and the decision to use the voice vote in deciding this is not consistent with the proper procedures and transparency. The decision by the legislators to speedily discuss and decide on a state of emergency that alters the democratic leadership structure in Rivers State undermines our democracy. Our judiciary also has the very important task of balancing the balance of power by being fair to all parties in any conflict. I believe that the custodian of the law in Nigeria need to wake up to their responsibility of calming nerves by being as just as possible, with judgment devoid of any hint of external influence. At this age of our democracy, this action by President Tinubu to suspend all elected officials in Rivers State is not only unconstitutional, but also a recipe for anarchy and disregard for the highest public office in the state. The National Assembly that should check this excess should not encourage it. Moreover, for a politician that prides himself as a consistent advocate and defender of democracy in our country, the decision by President Bola Tinubu to draft in the military into a position of leadership is hugely dangerous to the progress we have made in the 26 years of democratic journey. Bola Tinubu should know better than bringing the military closer to power after the good work President Olusegun Obasanjo did of confirming them to their barracks while he led this country. This proclamation and the subsequent pronouncement by the Attorney General of the Federation have now sent numerous people in state led by the opposition into disarray, as they set a dangerous precedent for how the head of state can grip on states that did not share the same political standing with the center. Very important. This shows that, any state, any opposition states that does not agree with the ideals, with values from the federal government or the president in particular can decide to suspend any governor. You can imagine the legislature, the House of Senate and House of Representatives, who are the ones that are saddled with this responsibility, that should have been the one, to amend this error, this mistake that the president has made. They are the same one who said that, the president can decide to, suspend any state governor, that their job is to amend. Their job is to amend what the president has, already pronounced. Can you imagine? This is setting a very, very dangerous precedent, which is saying that, the president has a right to suspend any sitting governor, which is very, very undemocratic, very unconstitutional for that, because, this is just, rubbishing the powers of a governor. And this is a person, a public office holder who was voted for by the people of his state. How can you remove somebody who was voted for by the people of his state and other officials because you want to prove you have the power? I do not even, to be sincere, I do not even have a problem with the state of emergency that was declared, because I think that, looking at the precedent of what happened during Yar'Adua's regime, it might, if the situation is not promptly handled, if a drastic action is not taken at the early stage, it might blow up to become something bigger than, what the country can handle. But where I have a problem is you suspending a sitting governor, and the only excuse you have to offer is that he did not carry you along. Like, he did not carry you along. And I'm assuming that because Wike is in Abuja, Wike has been going to the president to discuss and say, okay, this is what is happening in Rivers State, this is the latest development. But Fubara, being a gentleman that he is, I'm not, like I've said on numerous occasions, I'm not, annihilating the fact that he is also to be blamed in this situation, because, the demolition of the assembly complex, with a couple of other things, he also has his own blame in all of this. But what I'm saying is, a governor should not just be rubbished in the way that Fubara has been rubbished, Anyway, moving on. I am of a view that the political situation on the ground in Rivers does not justify such a flawed interpretation of Section 305 subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution. The action constitutes an unconstitutional override, and it could foster a culture of impunity if unchecked. Let's have your total opinions in the comment section. This is coming from Kwankwaso, a member of the NMPP, although suspended. Before we go, guys, let's take a look at, some of the reactions we got online. The first comment comes from Israel, who says, Nigeria is doomed under Tinubu and APC regime. This is just 2 years and we are crying. God forbid Tinubu's second term. Money has bought over the legislature and judiciary. That's what you get when you close your eyes to reality. Turn by turn, after Tinubu, whose turn will it be? Okunlola Abolarinwa says, in case you have forgotten, Obasanjo also declared a state of emergency in Plateau State, not only in Plateau, even in Ekiti State. During Obasanjo's regime, when Fayose was the governor, he declared a state of emergency in Ekiti State as well, not just Plateau. During his tenure, when Joshua Dariye was suspended, the president has done the right thing so that things did not get out of hand. Another comment from Viscount Jerry says, good viewpoint, however, situations are as they are and worsen, scroll to Nigeria not governed by law. Neither does the rule of law operate, and that despite Nigerians' pretended democracy, until the rule of law is enthroned and begins to operate, Nigeria will remain a laughingstock. Femi Ibi-Toye says, these people can never be trusted. If the president has allowed Fubara to be impeached, as it was going that time, this same Kwankwaso would have said that the president allowed Wike to impeach Fubara. That's why can't he declare state of emergency to forestall the impeachment? Nothing can satisfy your opponent, and Tinubu knows this. So he follows what he deemed right at that time. Up Tinubu. Another person by the name Goody Tubo says, Kwankwaso spoke right. Before the Senate even met Akpabio, no comma, nothing. Anyway, before the Senate even met, Akpabio visited Wike, and we know how loyal Akpabio is to Wike. Now, with Wike being the presidential minister, we know the outcome. Wike commands the shots as far as this government is concerned. Federal government, National Assembly, and the judiciary are all under his course. He has tied them. Worst, Rivers funds can be used for the sacrifice. When Constitution is gradually being interpreted rightly, then we should be ready for everyone to choose their own law. What are your thoughts? Let's have them in the comment section below. Thank you very much for always listening and watching, guys. I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.